Next up, we've got Walmart accidentally unveiling their own bargain priced streaming stick and 4K player.
Yeah.
They were not ready to announce this, but they published it on their website. And
that's the best way to announce something accidentally. You know, it's like, let's just put this on the most,
just put it up there.
Let's just put it on the most public space we have available to us, you know, to the whole world, and hopefully nobody will notice.
I'd be like, yeah. Well, yeah, no bigs.
What I really want to know is who is scouring Walmart's website enough to notice when something like this goes up. Like, who does? Are there programs out there for this? Like, what? There's got to be, right? Because I hope no human being is doing that. That sounds miserable.
No.
Like,
I don't regularly go to retail sites being like, what streaming sticks do they have today?
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, but I mean, this looks cool, right? It's going to compete with Google and some of the other ones. It's like what, $25, well, something like that. So cool. Props to Walmart, I guess. Right?
Yeah. They kind of mentioned that it seems ridiculously low priced, $24.88.
Oh yeah.
We'll see if that sticks.
All right. So.
But we'll
see.
Listen,
Sanjay, for this next article, you got to remind me. How do you pronounce the cell phone company's name again? Is it Xiaomi? What is that?
Oh, I forgot now.
Oh, man, I was really hoping you had it. All right, so Xiaomi.
I looked it up once.
Well, anyway, it says
listeners, if you want to know how to say it, go back and find whatever episode
that was, or just Google it. But anyway, it says they can now fully charge their phone in 8 minutes at 200 watts. Right?
Yeah,
that's so crazy.
Yeah, so I did some math because you knew I was going to, right?
Yeah, well, it's a given.
On this to figure out the efficiency. So they also do wireless charging, and based on the numbers they had, it looks like wireless charging is about 12.5% less efficient than wired charging.
Yep.
So that's something you should always know, right? Like anytime you try to do something wireless charging, you know it's going to be less efficient. So just think about that, because there's an impact to the environment by you doing that, right? Because there's wasted energy there. But I also did the math. If you charge your phone 8 minutes a day, that's what they're saying would take to fully charge your phone every day for a year. It would cost about $1.30.
On the wireless charging, it would cost an extra.
On the wired charging.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay,
so 8 minutes and you're done. $1.30 in a day.
That's pretty good.
That's not bad, right?
That's pretty good.
I don't think I've ever done the math for my regular phone now. That's not super.
Oh man, now I'm just disappointed. I mean, come on, like, what are you doing?
I'll have to get my power meter thing out and measure it and figure out how much we're spending and do that math. Talking about somebody that's not spending and is instead swimming in money. Wikipedia is swimming in money, and they're still begging people to donate. And they apparently just rolled out kind of these beg banners in India, but they have hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, that doesn't.
And they're just about to. They are rolling out a for-profit. I feel like we talked about this, didn't they?
Yeah, I think we did.
A for-profit arm to make even more money. So
why? I don't get it. Well, aren't there certain criteria for a nonprofit? You can only have a certain amount of cash on hand based on your size or something? Like, isn't there?
No.
There's not?
No, I mean, the definition of nonprofit basically means that nobody owns the company.
So no one person is pocketing all the cash.
So you can't benefit directly from that. That doesn't mean you can't get a big salary out of it, though.
Oh, man, there's some big nonprofit salaries out there for sure.
Years and years ago, there was a big hoopla about, I think it was Elizabeth Dole, Bob Dole's wife, if you remember Bob Dole, former senator and presidential candidate one year.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
She was making hundreds of millions of dollars as the head of the Red Cross, I think.
Oh my.
It was like $1 million or over $1 million a year. It was a lot of money.
Wow.
And people were like, wait, it's a nonprofit. And it's like, yeah, it is a nonprofit. That doesn't mean somebody doesn't make a lot of money.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
And so I think that's the same thing here. So people are a little bit upset about this.
Yeah, I would be too.
Definitely concerning. So we'll see what happens.
Speaking of making a lot of money, Stack Overflow sold to tech giant Prosus for $1.8 billion. So I love Stack Overflow.
Not a nonprofit.
No, man.
Or a total all-in for-profit.
Yep.
I tagged this article because I am now a little bit worried about my ability to write code, because if Stack Overflow goes away,
for real,
I don't know how I'm gonna write code.
Stack Overflow is like everybody that's a hack coder anywhere is like on Stack Overflow all the time learning. I'm on there all the time learning how to do stuff. When I'm like putting together like a little bootstrap website that should be easy for any fourth grader, like Stack Overflow is my champion, helping me make sure I don't do it wrong. So
yeah. I really kind of feel like Stack Overflow needs to be a nonprofit
for real,
and then perpetually available for everyone, because otherwise civilization might come to a grinding halt, and they'll be like, well, I don't understand what happened in the early 21st century. They were on this huge trajectory of higher and higher productivity, and then all of a sudden they just went caveman.
It just went down. It just went down.
Cave woman, cave people, and nothing happened. And they were back to using like rocks and sticks and trying to light fires. What happened? Oh, Stack Overflow.
We're gonna go back to some super old coding practices. We're gonna have to use tables and all the fun stuff. So
punch cards.
Yeah. Like there you go. Some punch card programming. I like that a lot. So
talking about what's not punch code programming, Spotify wants to make the yearly Wrapped experience more than a once a year thing.
Dude, I love this. Yeah. I love this. I love getting that like wrapped into the year. Your favorite song of the year was this. Your favorite art, you played this the most. You played like 175 artists from ever many countries. Like, it's fascinating. And what's most fascinating is like when a really weird artist pops up, because my kids have been listening to my Spotify in there. So it's like, I don't want to share this on social because I really don't want people to think that I'm a big fan of like the VeggieTales soundtrack so much, you know, but you know, it is what it is.
You don't have them have their own.
Well, that's the thing. I do. I've got a family account and I've got them all signed in different places, but for some reason, one of our sort of family, devices like the Google Home or whatever ends up defaulting back to my account, even though I've changed it. So I don't know what's going on there. I got to relook at it again, because like my daughter will go and play like High School Musical soundtrack on there, and then in my recommendations list it's got High School Musical. No, stop that. No, I'm not a teeny bopper.
Yeah,
I'm not a teeny bopper.
I stumbled upon this feature the other day and I actually really liked it. I think I missed the Wrapped thing. We talked about that a while ago, but I looked at this and there was one feature that I really liked. It said, only you would play this artist after this artist. So I think they actually did the analysis of what songs or what artists you played after each other and found the one that nobody else had played that order.
No, I got to go look that up right after this.
That's kind of awesome.
What were the artists?
That's what they did. Maybe they just made it all up. But
what were the artists? Was it like Snoop Dogg and Bob Dylan or something, like some nice juxtaposition there?
I think it was like Dr. Dre after somebody else, and I forgot who the other one was. It was like something totally not hip hop rap.
Willie Nelson, Dr. Dre. That's what it was for sure. I know you. That's what it was.
I think you can look up my Spotify profile. I've never played any Willie Nelson.
I don't know if I believe that. So anyway, moving on. Speaking of something that you might not believe either, a rural-urban broadband divide, but not the one you think of. And so this whole article is about how there are actually a lot of people in urban areas that do not have broadband. Because when we think of it, we always, even the maps that we looked at earlier on this show, it shows, way out in these country areas, there's no broadband. And we're like, oh man, that's such a big deal. But there are actually, because there's so much of a population concentration in urban areas, there are huge populations in urban areas that don't have broadband. And that is a major, major problem.
So yeah, the numbers are 13.6 million in urban areas don't have broadband. And that's almost three times as big as the 4.6 million rural households that don't have broadband. But in reading this article, I had to push back on something.
Okay.
I think it's a little bit of a mistake to say that the demand or the issue is more exacerbated in urban areas than in rural, because the challenge that you have in rural areas is you can't get places very quickly. Right? Like, you're in rural wherever.
Right.
And the amount of time that it's going to take you to get to some place to be able to deal with it or to get access to the internet or do anything else like that is a long time potentially. Whereas in an urban area, you potentially have access. You might not have access in your house, but nearby you might have access, and your ability to do things is a lot more increased by the fact that you live in an urban area versus a rural area.
Plus,
so I think the need still remains higher in rural,
Yeah.
even if the number of people is lower.
Plus, in the urban areas, like you have more access to Alexas that are going to share other people's internet with you. So,
See?
like, you're good to go.
You're on the farm in Montana. Whose internet access are you going to steal from? Right?
Nobody's.
Nobody nearby.
Nobody's. The cow's internet access. That's whose.
Yeah. See, Amazon's doing things for the rural or for the urban, not for the rural. So, see, there you go. That's not good. And then the final thing that final real story we've got here is about a bubble popping, and you knew this was going to happen.
Yeah, we did.
The NFT market bubble has popped, and we've got the charts to prove it.
Yep.
This is fascinating. It is kind of shocking. They talk about May 3rd being the highest day of NFT sales. It was 102 million with an M sold in one day.
Dang.
The week prior to doing this research was 19.4 million in the entire week. And they also showed that sports NFTs are becoming more popular.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that coming. The sports NFTs just have a different kind of value. It's more like collecting baseball cards or something like that. Like that actually makes some degree of sense to me as opposed to, you know, just other NFT stuff. So,
yeah. But so there's a story in Weird and Wacky, and in the thread, we'll talk about it in a minute, but in the thread, there's this tweet of a TikTok video of a girl a woman explaining what NFTs are. She said, goes, I don't think I understand what NFTs are, but I think this is what I think they are. And she goes on to explain this. And basically she says, NFTs are a way for you to pretend that you own something and make it so that other people can't pretend that they also own that same thing.
Yeah, and you pay a lot of money so that you're the only person that can pretend to own that thing.
Yeah. Which, truth be told,
is about right.
Kind of sounds right.
That's about right. Yeah. That feels about right. I mean, I can go and watch all the same sports clips that somebody can pay $10,000 to own. I don't get the difference. I get it, but I don't get it. So
yeah, it'd be different if you were somebody like Getty and you own the clip and then you make money on every time that clip is used.
For sure.
When you own the
That's
NFT,
the dream.
You don't get to own anything.
Nothing.
Money.